You're watching KBC Channel 1 and my name is Regina Manyara. Now, this year's Ma Cultural Festival, slated for the 4th to the 9th of November, is not only a celebration of heritage and identity. It indeed marks a major milestone with the historic handover of the Amboseli National Park to the local community. Now, this event underscores the growing connection between culture, conservation and sustainable development among the Mo people. Now, to help us understand the significance of this moment and what it means for cultural tourism and community empowerment, we are joined by none other than Principal Secretary in charge of Tourism, John Ololtuaa. Thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Thank you very much, Regina.
P.S. Ololtuaa, the festival has grown into one of the signature cultural tourism events in Kenya. What does it say about the rising value of cultural tourism in our national development agenda?
First and foremost, let me take this opportunity to appreciate you for giving me this opportunity to highlight the importance of the Ma Cultural and Tourism Festival to our country, Kenya. But first, let me indicate that tourism is a cornerstone of our economy in terms of what it does for the country. As you are aware, we have been able to improve the numbers of tourists that are coming to Kenya. All the way after COVID-19, the numbers came down. But from 2022 to date, they have gone up. Actually, by last year, we had 2.4 million international tourists. And we had about 7 million domestic bed nights, those who are traveling within the country. And of course, the contribution to the economy in terms of the money received also is actually very, very significant. And from the guidance of His Excellency the President, Dr. William Ruto, who has made it very clear to my minister and myself that it's very important that we focus on this very important aspect of our country to ensure that we continue to receive many visitors. And the more visitors we have, the more employment opportunities we create. In fact, we have so many young people today working in our hotels, in the transport sector. We have the tour operators. There are so many of these land cruisers, these vehicles that you see transporting the visitors. And this has been as a result of the number of tourists that is increasing. And we have, as Minister of Tourism and Wildlife, under the guidance of Honorable Rebecca Miano, we have tried to diversify tourism. For a long time, Kenya has been known and is still known as a destination for safari, specifically wildlife, looking at all the big five and all the other animals, including the wild beast migration. And of course, our beautiful beaches, sandy white beaches, which has been very attractive. But we have been on a trajectory to be able to diversify the tourism attractions. And one of the critical components of the diversification is the cultural tourism.
In a nutshell, how does cultural festivals in Kenya contribute to tourism growth and national branding, given that we have an ambitious target of attracting at least 5 million tourists by the year 2030?
Through the Council of Governors, we have been able to work together to come up with a calendar. We have encouraged the governors that they must put these cultural events on different dates. The Ma Cultural Festival has been agreed that the first week of November of every year is going to be the Ma Cultural Festival. And it's actually touching the Ma economic block, which of course includes Kajiado, Samburu, and Narok. And that it will be rotational. It began with Narok, it went to Samburu. This year, it's going to Kajiado. Now, this cultural tourism, as I said, it's very important as a tourism attraction. Why? Because one, there are a number of visitors who will come, and when they come, the cultural tourism becomes an entertainer. First of all, it entertains because it has so many components that can entertain. So it is an attractive element that even as the visitors come and sample our other natural attractions, they get that music and dance, and they get very much entertained.
How far have you gone with talks with the Council of Governors to establish more cultural festivals across the countries?
we have asked every county, because every county has got different communities. We would want a situation whereby every county, for example, in Kenya would have even a cultural festival where possible. But we are outlining the ones that are already there, which are happening, and that's what we are agreeing, so that they put specific dates that they can be able to celebrate this, and to make it really strong and focused, and work together with us.
How many do we have so far that are established?
I think we have about 10 to 12 already. We have so many other small celebrations, but the ones that are now major, and which we have asked the counties to, we agree on the calendar. We are almost agreeing. Of course, we have the Lamu Cultural Festival, which is really very famous. We have the Ma Cultural Festival. We have the Tobongolore, or the Turkana Cultural Festival. We have the Pinyluo Cultural Festival. We have the Rusinga Cultural Festival. We also have among the Pokot, the Pokot Cultural Festival. And there is another very important cultural festival. It's just getting out of my mind. It's just celebrated by the Nandi people. The name is just getting out a bit. And then, so there are about 10 or so that are now already clearly branded, and they are done every year.
Very well said. But then how, in light of technology, how does the Ma community maintain its identity amid globalization and modern influences?
First of all, here in the State Department for Tourism, under the guidance of the Minister, we have actually come up with a program called Youth in Tourism program. And we are putting up an innovation hub just in this particular building of the Tourism Fund. We are putting up a youth innovation hub where the youths, when we launch that program, the youths will be encouraged to write essays, they'll be encouraged to take selfies, they'll be encouraged to create poems, they'll be encouraged to do some TikToks and so on various areas where they come from, on focusing on the attractions that are there. And they'll even have an opportunity to have competitions in terms of art and drawing and inventions, whatever they can come up with, that can be able to showcase what our country offers. And so through that particular program that we have put in place, you will find that we'll be doing a lot through the youth.
The Youth Innovation Program, do you have any timelines?
Yeah, this program is actually going to be a program that will run throughout. It's not going to end. What we have done, we have embedded it in the Tourism Fund activities, so that the Tourism Fund, because already they have some programs, including capacity building of hospitality staff and so on. So we have put it as a program that will run throughout.
So tell us, what strategies is the State Department of Tourism implementing to leverage cultural festivals for sustainable tourism?
So first of all, the value has been seen just by us doing the cultural festivals. Secondly, through the State Department for Culture, the Arts and the Heritage, they are also putting in place legislation to be able to protect ineligible rights of the communities, to ensure that this culture is patent, is protected within the law, so that people do not misuse it, and that it lives long for generations to come.
Can cultural events like this festival promote inter-community dialogue and peace building?
You know, the counties have just been using the cultural festivals just for their cultural identity, protection, and so on. But I have never known that if we do that calendar, people can come from all over the world. Just the way they come and see the wild beast.
Yes.
They can actually come. Once we agree on the dates, now like this month we have agreed, then the Kenya Tourism Board will now market it online. So it will be like a tourist attraction.
Calendar events.
Yes.
On culture.
Yeah. Very clear, and they will just come.
It may not fall within your docket, but it would be remiss for me not to ask this particular, issue. How do you think conservation standards and biodiversity protection will be maintained under community stewardship?
Let's say you are a Luo and you are staying in Nyanza. If you attend the Tobongolore Cultural Festival or the Ma Cultural Festival, you also begin to understand what the Maasai do, you know, what kind of economic activities do they have, what kind of social activities do they have, how do they protect the environment, how do they conserve, and you can be able to learn and also replicate the same wherever you are. So it's really a kind of cultural diversity and integration. So the church itself is already has embraced the culture. They are also dressing like this, even in the churches, and dancing. And the artists who are singing the Ma songs and so on have also come up, and they have used that particular avenue to continue protecting and promoting the culture. So I am seeing that even with the digital technology, you know, this culture will still be impressed. And what is retrogressive, I think I also have to make that clear. There are those cultural aspects that are a bit retrogressive. Like, for example, FGM, those that make young girls to get married before time. Those ones, we are all raising our voice together with the church, together with the leadership, to ensure that any cultural aspect that is really anti-education and is not really to the benefit of the community, will do away with those ones and remain with those cultural aspects that transcend beyond generations and does not affect education, does not affect religious identity. It just promotes that beauty of that particular cultural aspect. And that's why we are encouraging the communities to continue embracing this culture.
As we bring this to a close, Bwana PS, what is your message, you know, to the Ma community as well as Kenyans at large, as we look forward to attending the Ma Cultural Festival 2025?
Every Kenyan to be very proud of our country. In fact, I've always been speaking about it, and I'll keep on speaking, I don't know, until Jesus comes. I've been telling the media, as you are, what do you call it, CSR, as your contribution to the community, just develop documentaries on the attractions that are there in Kenya, so that speak about them. Focus in your programs, create a program and do something. And the youths, when they are doing their TikTok chats and so on, let them go to, if you find Nairobi River has improved and it's now good, go there and post it and say Nairobi River now is shining. Or if you go to Amboseli or you go to any other place, there's something nice to focus on. Focus it on and people will come to the country. So I have all the confidence with the support of His Excellency the President. And let me tell you, you know, for a fact, that since His Excellency took over, he has really made it easy. You can see Africa, all African countries now, visa-free. They'll come to Kenya, you know, without visa. The airport experience and so many things that the government is doing. The purpose is to make it easy for the visitors to come. So, this number we have kept on saying, Imeka 2 million for many years. I can assure you, it is going up. But it cannot go up with our effort only. It has to be the effort of every Kenyan. Speak about your country. Speak about it positively all the time. And people will get attracted and they'll come. For the Ma people, the Ma community, this is an opportunity for you to continue being united, to promote that peaceful coexistence, and to really come in numbers to showcase what you have, and to be able to work together and to show the Kenyan people how beautiful the Ma culture is, so that if there are some of them who are almost forgetting their culture, they can also remember and go back and call you to go and experience. So this is, you will be the opener. You know, if you can do perfectly well, I'm sure the rest of the other communities will follow suit and will also be able to enjoy their cultural festivals.
Very well said. A clarion call to all Kenyans to embrace what makes us unique, and that is our biodiversity, and culture and tradition falls squarely within that particular space. I'm Regina Manyara. We have been speaking to none other than Principal Secretary in charge of Tourism, John Ololtuaa. You're watching KBC Channel 1.